All right, ladies and gents, this is Oliver, and I'm in a bunker I call Studio 72. It is July 14th, 2025, and I'm chiming in here this afternoon because I want to kind of pitch some ideas, some thoughts that I have, and regarding President Trump, Donald J. Trump. Some of the statements that he has made on truth that's being circulated or being shared, posted to the world is puzzling. And I don't understand this. I don't understand why he's confused. I don't understand what changed. I do know that I've got a pulse of not only the base, but America. And I pride myself in that because I pay attention to what people are saying. I pay attention to what people are posting. And we can read their thoughts as they express themselves. And I think that might be at the core of the issue. Number one thing that's I got to get out is that this is not Trump's first rodeo in the White House. This is really Trump's first term. Second shot at the first term. That's a very unique, unusual place to be. Number one is because Trump doesn't feel like he needs to be elected. He's already been there and done that. His attitude was a little different the first term. He also had a bunch of people surrounding him that were just giant failures, massive neocons, Bolton and Pompeo and all of these douches. I mean, it just disgusting people. And so many of us thought that he had a better team that was coming around. Now, with that said, there was some red flags right away. And one of the things that stood out is that it really appeared to be kind of a dual citizenship cabinet. We saw a lot of what I refer to as MEGA, Make Israel Great Again, because Israel's not great and hasn't been great for a long time under Trump's best friend forever. Unfortunately, this best friend forever, PM Prime Minister Netanyahu, Bibi. Bibi is our loving short nickname for Benny and the Jets. So, which in itself is just a catastrophe. Again, this huge bewilderment. Is Trump so lonely and isolated in life that he's hanging on to these little junker, poor quality turds because of history and some sort of illusion that they're friends because you've known someone for 20 years, even though they're sociopaths or mass murderers? It's like, well, it's my mass murderer, and he's just defending his country, and I don't know. That unpacking and psychoanalysis is still kind of mysterious to me. I just don't get that. I don't get a lot of this. But so as I try to break down some of this, and then I'll present, just pitch some ideas that I've got in the hopes that there is some salvaging of the midterms. So what's really important to me is that I'm an independent. I'm not a MAGA cultist. I'm no way in any form a MEGA into this Make Israel Great Again, which there is this fraction of the base. And I've said this before, but I think that it's really important to repeat this because it seems like obvious no-brainer stuff, but it's not registering. And people are just I don't have a big voice, and people are just kind of spluffing us off to the side, kind of sweeping us under the carpet. I'm not the only ones thinking like this. America first. America first is the huge umbrella. This is the bigger umbrella. It's not MAGA. It certainly isn't the small lunatic fringe of dual citizenship, Israeli intelligence controlled, operated, or employed with Making Israel Great Again. Trump has to understand that what he said on the campaign trail, what got him elected, the messaging that got him elected and resonated with this huge America First umbrella. Maha was Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s Democrat umbrella that he brought into the fold. We had Democrats voting for Trump. We had millions and millions of independents voting for Trump. We had people that were non-affiliated, which is a huge 40% of the voting bloc in America, of people that are registered to vote, and many of them aren't voting. That's the danger for the midterms, is we're going to have the base is not going to come. It's not like they're going to start voting for Democrats. There's like this cocky arrogance of that I get from Trump and the administration. It's understandable. It's like, who are you going to vote for? The Democrats? The DEI lunatics? No, we're not. I'm an independent, and I like third parties. There's other third parties out there. I don't know if Elon is serious about this America party. It's hard for me to get a read on him. I get so many different messages from people that claim that they are working with him. It's probably mostly scammers, but I have to wonder if some of it isn't true. But is it a political action committee, or is it a real attempt at establishing ballot access? So, but let me back up before I go through that, or I may not even need to address that. Just back up a little bit and back into the analysis of this America First. And this is something that the diehard MAGA, I hate the word cultist, but let's just call it cultist, just because the leader, Trump, can do no wrong. And you've got people that are attacking anyone that's critical on X, calling them black pillars, calling them traitors, reporting them as computer bots. I've had 3 separate attacks where I've had to prove myself as a real profile. I don't know who's doing that. I don't know if that's an angry ex-wife, or if it's more than likely, my gut intuition tells me that this is a part of these MAGA cultists, that they're attacking me, saying, and many people, lots and lots, thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of profiles that are speaking out and literally confronting them on X, social media. And then there's a process where you can report them, and then you can question whether they're a real person. Just because I'm not verified and I'm not sending $100 a year into the kitty, that somehow our opinions don't matter. It's starting to feel a lot like the FBI DOJ with Biden running Twitter around X. And I don't know if Elon's aware of that. I don't know if he's with that. I feel like there's some sort of weird rogue intel thing that's making itself known, and it's working with or against the critics of Trump right now. I don't know if that's intentional. Could just be an intuition. It could be a bad read. Something needs to be looked into a little deeper there. The America First, these voters that were not diehard MAGA, they're not diehard Republicans. This is what the MAGA cultists do not understand. They're not capable of embracing this concept, that the center of this populist movement is not around them. It's not around MAGA or MAGA. It's not around the original cultists. You guys couldn't win the election. You didn't win the election. I mean, you won along with it. You're not the reason to win for the election. Okay? The reason for the win of the election is those unaffiliated voters, those independents, those 30, 40, 50 million independents, unaffiliated. Once Democrats disgruntled and leaving from all of this psychotic, mentally ill, gender dysphoria, DEI rhetoric that's nonsense, jamming drag queens into our schools and forcing all of this insanity, that's where you lost us. That's where you lost me. That's where you lost millions of American voters. It looks like the Democrats are going to continue down that Marxist, Maoist, Communist, DEI path. If they do, then they still stand a chance of reclaiming the House, possibly even the Senate, in next midterms. That's how bad this wall that Trump, this tone deafness, this inability to read the room, as people keep saying. Read the room, Trump. Don't stop reading the room. Listen to the variety, the diversity of people that are still supporting you. You're losing them every day with all of these shitty cabinet meetings, all of these pressers, all of this crap truth socials that's being posted. You're losing millions of voters. That means catastrophe. That is, in Obama's terms, a shellacking. We have a shellacking coming upon us for 2026, and it needs to be addressed. It needs a pause button. We need some of these, like a Laura Loomer, Miss Loomer. We need her that's actually been instrumental in calling out neocons and double assets. Many of them are Israeli first. Miss Loomer is Israeli as well. She's got an Israeli connection as well. She's American first. Let me back up. She's not Israeli as in her heart. She is, number one, loyal because of her deep emotional love to Donald J. Trump. That's really important. That's why I mentioned her name. I'm not smearing her at all. She's essential. She is so crucial because she was instrumental in shaking up of this cabinet. We need more of that. In my opinion, I would relieve a whole bunch of people, because that is actually the optics that is needed now to present to the base that a corrective pivot, a correction in the path, a trajectory of where we're at that's imploding the base. The base is splintering. This is coming. I'm going to repeat this because this is so important. These idiot anarcho-com, Maoist, leftists, whatever that you want to lump them into, are so ignorant that they call us fascists. They call us Republicans. We're not Republicans. Let me repeat it. We're not Republicans. Many of us aren't even the true conservatives. I'm not a conservative. I'm more of a civil libertarian than anything. Pacific Green Party, back in the day, not anymore. They went Maoist and it's been corrupted. But I'm a co-founder of that. I'm an independent for 30 years. I've never voted Democrat. Ever. I'm not a swing voter that goes back between establishment hacks. No, sir. I am not. No, ma'am. That's not who we are. I'm talking beyond me, but about me. Because this is a huge part of the America First. Maha is being jeopardized with Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s capitulation to pharma. And these mRNAs need to be removed. He's flip-flopping back and forth. If we lose Bobby and Maha, it's over for American First next year in the midterms. It's over, because that's our last only hope and success of public perceptions. You drove Elon out. It doesn't look like you're trying to bring Elon back in. Elon was huge. Elon, again, like Bobby Kennedy, lifelong Democrat, another wealthy neoliberal billionaire that's been donating to Democrats, that switched teams and was essential in voter outreach and money. You can't forget about the money with these guys. But it almost seems like Trump doesn't even care about the whole spectrum of even the big donors. And what happened there? Was there a head injury? Was there a medication change? I'm not trying to poke fun at him, although humor is how we're going to survive and not slip into some sort of weird depressive funk. But I'm not trying to make fun of him. It's a real psychoanalysis of what happened. What happened? When you're on the campaign promising to release the Epstein files, you can't just say what you've done and say it doesn't exist. And now you're saying, now it seems like he's sending, well, Obama and all these corrupt, black hats, they wrote it all. Clintons, they wrote all this, and, pay no attention to all that. I suspect that all of the pictures and all the partying and all the photographs with Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, maybe there's videos, who knows? But something must have gotten into him. Somebody's threatened him with blackmail, That's what this type of honeypot is all about. Blackmail, that's what Jeffrey Epstein made his fortune on. Blackmail, that's what the CIA and Mossad and Ben said, all the rest of these. British are known. Who started the honeypots? British are the ones that started the honeypots, in my opinion. I got issues with British. So I got issues with the British, MI6. I got issues with it. I'll openly confess my bias. But just bear with me there. What happened? Is it just that? Or is there something else? What happened? And if Trump is taking on this belief that it doesn't matter because his name isn't on the ballot next year, then somebody has got to snap him out of it, because this is about America. Why am I so passionate? Why do I care? Because I really don't care about Trump's legacy. Sorry, not sorry. I really don't care about the Republican stranglehold on Congress or this country. Sorry, not sorry. I'm an independent. Okay? My concern and my anxiety and anger and angst that I'm expressing here is that it's about I'm American, number one. That's what America First is all about. What is in the best interest and well-being of this country? What is in the best interest in the midterms for our country? Trump, if he doesn't realize it, he's looking at a series of impeachments, if not attempts to remove him once we lose 20, 30, 40 seats in the House. And maybe, I think we have a chance, we, meaning the Patriots connected to this two-party duopoly of the Republicans, unfortunately. The rhinos don't give a hell. The rhinos are a part of this demise and sabotage inside the White House, inside this coup, connected very well with these foreign interests, as I've already mentioned several times here in this 17-minute video so far. And I want to wrap it up. I've gotten pretty much what I've gotten out as far as the analysis. And a lot of it, even the professionals are like, what is going on with Trump? What happened? These are people like that know him. Alex Jones, Robert Barnes. Oh, the name's so long. Viva Frei. There's so many, not just influencers, but people that actually know him, have met him, have hung out with him. Maybe years, or definitely years before he was even president in the first term, not the president of the first term. You follow me, with me? And it's very, very strange. It on the level of my armchair analysis, it actually feels like there's been a medication change, or even hypnosis. I mean, it's as dramatic as Obama's messaging of ending wars, and he had a similar type of manipulation and messaging. That's how Obama lost his base. And he was able to, because he was such a CIA deep state stooge operative, he was able to hang on working with those identities. And that appears what Trump is kind of doing. It looks like it to me, just my perceptions. I don't know what's really going on. I can only reach and try to use some intuition, but it's just falling flat. Intuition is like hit a wall. It's just too damn bizarre. Melania, Trump said something today about Melania wants him to kick Putin's ass, or something like this. That's not a quote, but she's saying, yeah, but he's bombing Kyiv. He sounds real good, but he's still bombing. Melania's pointing out that Putin's doing that. I can't blame Putin for that. I don't want to unpack and psychoanalyze that, but the Ukraine Nazis with the CIA and deep state, which why in the fuck is Trump now working with them? Why? Let's not pretend you are a part of the problem. Let's go back to you pretending that you are the solution to the deep state problem. Follow me? Snap out of that. You are now the deep state. That's the meme I've been sharing. That's been circulating. I am now the deep state. It's like, the Somalian going, I am now the captain. Well, you are now the captain, and you look like a crazed Somalian hijacking kidnapper, sir. Just in metaphorical sense. Not good. Your whole demeanor, you're not shining. You look depressed, in a depressive mood disorder. You look trapped. You look betrayed. Trump is in really, really bad shape from inside his heart, mind, and soul of what's coming out. And yes, he couldn't stop the wars. That's got to be depressing. And yes, he's having some encounters with some domestic issue I'm not sure. I mean, some of those things are to be accounted for. I mean, it's not a surprise. These weren't unknown unknowns. These were known knowns. We know sanctuary cities and battles. I mean, that's what I anticipated. How could Trump not? I mean, I knew he anticipated these battles and things on the domestic front of it. There's something else going on there. And it's very, very alarming. It jeopardizes America because of the midterms. It jeopardizes Trump's legacy because of the midterms. That's what empowers these Democrats to come back in with psychosis. What the Democrats are saying now on the mainstream media, and he says he watches all of them, they're now threatening or talking about, okay, well, we want to release the Epstein files. I don't know how much power they've got now, but they're saying that. Well, we'll push this. We'll get to the facts, because what are you guys covering up? What are you guys covering up? There's got to be some juicy morsels that could be game changers for us through the midterms. If you are covering this up, you're actively covering it up. And that's what everyone else is thinking. So the basic psychology, I got to say this, I got to break it down. People don't want to be lied to. When people feel like they're lied to, it's a gag reflex. It's like it's like they're gonna puke. They feel like they're gonna puke. Mouth starts watering and they're nauseous, and sometimes they will puke. The voters will puke. They feel that emotionally betrayed. You're at that spot now, Trump administration. You're at that spot now, Donnie. You've gotten way overconfident and cocky and arrogant, just like you guys did the first term when you won and beat out Clinton and Bush and bombing all the fucks. You're doing the same mistakes. You're not listening to the people. You're not listening to the small-time voices who have got a thumb on the pulse of America. You're ignoring everyone and proceeding through. It's probably intentional isolation of Trump. He's got to get out of that. There has to be somebody or a couple of people, a team like Tulsi. Tulsi's gotten quiet. She was trying to reach him. Joe Kent, good man from Southwest, CIA operative at one point. His first wife, lost her life. CIA ops in these world wars. He's a brilliant mind. He's a brilliant diplomat. Tap Joe Kent with Tulsi Gabbard, Secretary Gabbard. Bring these kind of people in that will speak with another perspective, like Elon. Before Elon was driven out, Elon was saying things that the rest of the administration and the rest of the team inside there was not saying. He was presenting good insights. Tariffs have potential of blowing up in public perceptions. That they did. And then you start smearing everybody's panicking, which is retarded. Lack of better words, that's just retardation, political retardation. Don't smear people that don't understand things. You gotta communicate it and talk it out. And with these taxes, all of a sudden Republicans like taxes. In itself, it's so fucking insane, right? These tariffs, these taxes on imports. But I actually understand that the intent is to actually create jobs and create manufacturing. And I understand this part, but the public didn't understand that. And the public doesn't give a fuck about that. The public wants people being indicted. Okay, so let's switch at 24 minutes. Let's switch into a couple of ideas that I could, that have already been, they're not my ideas. They're things that are being presented that resonate good with me as well. And this is something that I hope other people that have got big voices and channels can pitch. Number one is that we have to have, if you're going to hang on to Pam Bondi, which at this point, I liked her. And I've been pushing back and fighting to keep her there. I was pushing back and advocating for her to be the nominee. I actually like her, but the more the time goes by, the more inept and compromised she appears. It might be good to boot her or have her resign. Don't fire her, but have her resign. Have a couple people different resign. You got to get rid of this MEGA, what appears to be kind of this Israeli intelligence coup that's taken over and isolated in Donald Trump. And at least it appears that way. Again, I'm not saying this is the reality of it. I'm presenting what this is the perception. This is the optics of what it looks like. You've got to switch it up. If you're going to hang on to Miss Bondi, have a special counsel come out for the Epstein files. And whether it's a limited hangout, which sucks, but that's better than nothing, or actual true analysis and exposing. And whatever connections that Trump has from the old past, we see him at keg parties talking about women and joking, and it was the 80s, everyone looked coked up and drinking. Have the distance say, yes, he was there, but he was not a creep and not a pedo. Yes, there was women, but they were all legal age. Who didn't have women, coke, and drinks in the 80s? A lot of people will relate to that. So that's a really good idea. Now, Laura Loomer, some of us have been talking about special counsel for weeks. Laura Loomer, I think officially either yesterday or today, she's presented this idea, and she's very, very close to Trump. Trump listens to her. I mean, it appears she has at least a phone number, if not I guess he doesn't email. I was going to say email. I guess he doesn't email. I don't even know how that's even fucking possible. It's probably smart, with phishing and emails. Probably smart, but how does that communication even happen? Loomer is saying special counsel, and she's posting saying exactly what we've been thinking and saying and talking about for weeks, is that it is at least creates the perception, at least the optics, if not actual investigation, that people believe something is being investigated and being revealed and will be presented and to take that pressure off of AG Bondi. I don't believe it's actually her fault. I actually think that she's being jerked around. I think she was set up, and then for some bizarre reason, they made her take the fall like a sacrificial red heifer and withdraw and say, what? Well, no, there isn't any. Like, people are not going to know that that's a lie. People are very aware to gaslighting. So don't gaslight the voters. Stop gaslighting the base. You're losing. You're bleeding. It's hemorrhaging. The patients, if America First was a patient in an emergency room, it's bleeding. The tourniquet needs to be applied, and there needs to be sharp pivots to avoid the demise of what's coming next year. That's a year away from when the election, the polling and the campaignings really heat up, or at least 6 months away. 6 to 8 months or whatever, and then the spring, summertime, you got a year away. It can be reversed if there is sharp corrective action. I believe that, but it has to happen. And people are demanding indictments and demanding that people are facing justice. This has to happen. But give the room for Attorney General Pam Bondi to actually the freedom to do what she needs to do, and that's indictments on upper level. Let her do that. Let her save face if you're going to hang on to her. If not, get rid of her. Regardless, appoint special counsels. Just come in, and you might need more than just one from these Epstein files. There's other directions. The number one big thing of how you lost a good chunk of me, I guess I'm just hanging on by a thread. You pretty much lost me when you proved that the hypocrisy and the lies about no longer wanting to bring world peace. You can't, like Trump just said today, this was not my war. This was Biden's war, and I'm trying to get you out of it. That's bullshit, sir. That's total bullshit. This is your war now. And you can't blame Biden for the lack of demise of Gaza and Israeli intelligence and the defense forces, the IDF, and all the rest of the clusterfuck. I don't even know. There's probably, just like here in America, there's probably layers of three-letter agencies in Israel that we've never even heard of. I mean, I believe that because I don't know a lot about it. But from what we can see, I can comment about the perception of that. This is now on you. These war crimes, these international criminal court war crimes against Bibi are now becoming Trump's, because Trump is best friends forever and hanging out and hugging and kissing and making up and sharing little jewelry and little tokens and pieces of exploding missiles and whatever medallions are being gifts that are being. It's insane. It's totally insane. And we voted for world peace. We voted to what we were promised and repeated on the campaign trail for years, really, but months and months and months. World peace, de-escalation. We don't send Ukraine Nazis missiles. That makes you now a Nazi enabler. That makes Trump now equivalent to the gaffes and ups that they did with Biden arming the Ukraine Nazis and the Azov battalion. Literal Nazis, not just Antifa, gotta punch every Nazi. Yeah. No, we're talking about literal, real Ukraine Nazis. Azov battalion. It's not a joke. These are Bandera loving from World War II. Bandera, the war criminal, who worked with the Nazis. This is literal fucking dipshits, fascists. That makes you. So why would you embrace that? And then you're trying to make it look like we're doing some weapons deal? Stop selling weapons, period. Go back to fuck NATO. We're going to back out of NATO. NATO can take care of itself. Go back to that mantra. Go back to that messaging that we heard. Go back to the old Trump, maybe even 90 days old Trump. 90 days was not long, sir. And the administration around him wasn't long ago. Go back to that. That's where you're losing us. What's going to happen is it's not about people voting for Democrats, although there's probably a bunch of swing hitters. You upset a few million people, they may actually vote against you like they voted for you when they voted against Biden. Follow me? We don't need to repeat that. Do I need to repeat it? It's a simple mathematical. There's these swing hitters that are really just establishment duopoly voters. They swing into the Democrats sometimes if they like it. They'll swing into the Republicans sometimes, and it's just back and forth. That's really a huge part of why America is in this life support demise that we're in. Is these damn swing voters. But granted, it's not the time to be voter shaming, although I do my fair share of voter bashing. As a third party, let me tell you, I've done my share of voter bashing. Not really what is going to be a salvation for the midterms. It's the suppression. You know it. I know it. It's the voter suppression. It's the people that will stay out of the polls into the voting booth and the polling booth. They won't cast a ballot. That is just enough to bring in crazed Maoist, Marxist, communist, deranged Democrats, socialists, communists, whatever these weird titles. I don't even think people even know the difference between communism or socialism and Maoism and Marxism. And I don't think people really even think deep enough about that. They're just emotionally charged that they want change. This is the younger kind of leftist, kind of progressive. They're more authoritarian. Tankies. We used to call them tankies. That's what these guys are. Tankies. They're progressives, leftists. They're not neocons, but they're tankies. They're with the neocons in a different way. Very bizarre dynamics. Tankies are real. Tankies. And not cool. Never been a tankie. I don't like tankies, but that's what these kind of anarcho-Stalinist type of Leningrad type of people, younger generation, that is enough to boost them with some of these lunatic candidates. Looking right at the New York City mayor campaign. Just for an example, that has potential if it's not contained and put into quarantine with the voters. Quarantine that type of toxic rash bioweapon that could be released onto the voters. That in conjunction with the voter suppression, people saying Trump turned out to be a big loser, big turd, he lied, everything he said was a lie, and he continues to lie. He's obviously just doing it for himself and a little part for Melania, who doesn't like Putin. She wants him to kick his ass, but so there's a little bit of that. And Melania, we need peace. We don't need you kicking Putin's ass. All right, lady, first lady, we love you. Please, let's not go to war, World War IV with Putin. That's not how we do this, okay? I hope you understand that. You're from Slovenia, I believe. Is that why there's this kind of Russophobic Putin hatred? I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know. So special counsels could help, would help. And indictments would help, could help. People need to feel like Trump is going to do at least half of what he promised to do on the campaign trail. It has to be turned around. At this point, late July and August, there is still time. There is still time. There's a lot of American voters that have short-term memory loss. And if you provide them with justice and truth, just like we've seen with other issues with Trump and MAGA from the first term, people are forgiving. The base will certainly forgive you. But those independents and non-affiliated, they may come back. They may come back to say, well, it was kind of a weird, rocky little hiccup there, and midstream, it almost felt like completely out of the gate. It was just like, what happened to Trump? Did you switch him out? I mean, what the heck? Whatever medication he's been put on, take that, get him off of that. Let's get him off of that. And let's get Trump back into the old campaign with that messaging and rhetoric about America first. Israel first is not America first. Okay? Arming Ukraine Nazis is not America first. That's World War IV. It's going to bankrupt us. Sanctions are going to bankrupt us. Sanctions really aren't going to help America. It will on some level. I mean, what I mean is that it doesn't help with the economic recovery if we start completely shutting down these bigger, larger, and then force them to work together, like China and Russia, China, Pakistan, or China and India, or whatever weird combo of the BRICS, the upper deck, upper level, huge populations, huge economic. It's not going to help us driving them in there, and that should be obvious. Now, the Ukraine, in my opinion, needs to come to a full unconditional surrender. You guys were demanding on Iran. Iran will never do that. But that's what needs to happen with Ukraine, and they're very close. You stop arming them and stop propping them up like some sort of dysfunctional family member that is going to implode and destroy themselves in real time and has ignored all of the interventions the family's done. Ukraine's a little coked up Zelensky, and Ukraine Nazis will come to an end when they run out of gunpowder, missiles, bullets, coke, and cash, right? That happens. And let that happen. It has to happen. It's been a brutal massacre. Stop sending money. Stop instigating Russia. Come to terms with letting that happen. Step back. You said it yourself. Sometimes you have to step back and let them fight. Let them fight. That's where it's at right now. With Russia, global world peace is possible because of their obvious geopolitical relationships that Trump doesn't have, America doesn't have, because the CIA has been instigating wars for so many goddamn decades and decades. So anyway, that's the rant. That's my free advice. Somebody close to him, talk to Don. Bring back the old Donnie. Bring back the old Donnie. We need peace. We need America first. The veterans need housing, sir. We didn't stop. Take that money you're going to send and sell, or maybe take the money that the Nazis give you. Build the veterans low-income housing. Build the veterans. Let's help the people that have already been deployed into these insane, unjust global wars since Afghanistan and Iraq. 30 years ago, we started with this shit. Let's help our people. They need help. Stop with the corporate welfare and let's start helping the people that are bona fide Americans and have done their service. They've worked their lives and they need assistance. You know, we don't force our elderly who have been doing their portion for the country for 50 years into some fast food McDonald's job to keep their health insurance. You guys are fucking whack with this one big, beautiful, polished golden turd bill. It's insane to do anything with elders of true Americans. Everybody's in agreement. We don't want illegal migrants sucking off the system. We can't afford it. Even if we were bleeding liberals, they're clueless. They can't afford it. We can't afford it. America doesn't have the money. We're $40 trillion in debt. It's not there. Even if the money was there, that's not what we should be doing. And everyone's in agreement to that. Come back to the 80-20 type of agreement type of issues. Okay? Peace out. All right.